What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your late Sunday morning so far. This is MYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about what the Giants need the most after the first wave of free agency has concluded. Now, obviously, we know about the moves that the Giants have made so far during the first wave of free agency. We know about the deal with Daniel Jones, 4 years, $160 million. We know about the Giants franchise tagging Saquon Barkley and the fact that they're looking to see if they can find a way to extend him long term. We know about the big trade they made with the Las Vegas Raiders for Darren Waller for a 2023 third round pick. And then obviously some of the free agent signings that they made. Bobby Okereke, 4 years, $40 million. Raheem Nunez-Roches, 3 years, $12 million. Darius Slayton has been re-signed, 2 years, $12 million. Brought in Paris Campbell, 1 year, $6.7 million. You re-signed Sterling Shepard, 1 year, $1.3 million. Now you're hosting Ashawn Robinson for a visit. And obviously some lower level deals like Isaiah Hodgins, who they brought back as an exclusive rights free agent. Jack Anderson, same thing. Lawrence Cager, Wyatt Davis, etc. So, what are the Giants' biggest needs right now as we head into the second and third wave of free agency? And we're about a month and a week away from the NFL draft that starts on April 27th. Well, the Giants right now are stronger at wide receiver than they were before. They were weak, very weak, and they have added some talent by bringing back Shepard and Slayton. You bring back Hodgins. You bring in a dynamic player like Paris Campbell. You bring in Jeff Smith as well. I forgot about Jeff Smith. 1 year, $2 million for him. Or 1 year, $1.2 million. So you have more speed elements added to the wide receiver position. But I still believe wide receiver is a need because you look at the contracts that all these guys have been given. Slayton, 2 years. Shepard, 1 year. Paris Campbell, 1 year. Jeff Smith, 1 year. Isaiah Hodgins, 1 year. Wan'Dale Robinson, rookie contract coming off serious injury. Colin Johnson, 1 year. Jeff Smith, 1 year. Get the trend? All these guys are 1, possibly 2 year players. So you need to get yourself a long-term answer at the wide receiver position. And I still believe that the Giants need to get themselves a dynamic playmaker somewhere in the NFL draft within the first 4 rounds. And get themselves a guy that they can build around in that wide receiver core going into the offseason. And going into the season and beyond. That's number 1. Number 2. Definitely need at least 1 or probably 2 interior offensive linemen. I get a lot of people that want to put stock, and I get the organization that's still very high on guys like Joshua Ezeudu and Marcus McKethan, as they should be. These guys are young prospects that you want to try to build up and see what they can do in their second year in the NFL. But McKethan is coming off a very serious knee injury. Came off an ACL tear that he suffered during the summer game, during the preseason summer game for the New York Giants. And a Joshua Ezeudu only played in a few games, struggled in pass protection, and is coming off a neck injury. So it's very, very risky to put trust and faith in these 2 players that they're going to be able to all of a sudden come back healthy and be the type of players that you're looking for. So if I'm the Giants, honestly, I'd be looking for an offensive lineman early in the NFL draft. And I'd definitely be looking for a center. There's some quality centers coming out in this NFL draft. Stromberg, Schmidt, Torrance can play center. Weipler, Avila can play center. There's some very good young centers coming out in this draft. Giants definitely need to look at the center position going into this draft. Definitely have to. And I would even look at a guard too. Because Bredesen, I believe, is on 1 more year of his deal. Lemieux is on 1 more year. Lemieux can't stay healthy. Bredesen got banged up last year. Like I mentioned about Ezeudu and McKethan. Both of them are young. Both of them are building blocks, but they both got hurt last year. And they're very big unknowns. Glowinski is here for, I believe, another year. Jack Anderson, to me, is a depth player or practice squad player. You need depth at that position. So I would definitely look at potentially 2 offensive linemen. I still believe this team needs a linebacker. Now, I know you brought in Bobby Okereke in free agency. He's going to be the guy that's going to be put right into the middle of that defense. But because the fact that you still don't know what Darian Beavers is, you drafted him in the 6th round out of Cincinnati, but he's coming off an injury, a serious one. Micah McFadden could develop into a quality linebacker, but I think he's better as a rotational guy. You did bring back Gerard Davis, but I think he's a rotational guy as well. So you're going to have to look for another quality linebacker in this draft, or the 2nd or 3rd wave of free agency. So I still believe another linebacker added to this defense is essential. Defensive line. You could look at defensive line as well. You have a guy like A'Shawn Robinson who's going to be looked at in free agency right now that the Giants are potentially looking to sign. But we'll have to wait and see what the Giants are going to do, if they're going to sign him to a free agent contract. And if not, you go right into the NFL draft. And then to me, another position that the Giants definitely need to look at is cornerback. Right now, you have Adoree Jackson as your number 1 cornerback, but he's hurt all the time. He came off a serious knee injury and only played in 1 or 2 games in the second half of the season. Aaron Robinson, while he's very talented coming out of Central Florida, he's gotten hurt both years of his career. Severe injuries where he's missed a ton of time. Cordero Flott, I think, is projected more as a slot cornerback than an outside guy. And then you have players like Rodarius Williams, Zion Gilbert, who are more outside project corners, if anything, and not starters. And then you have Darnay Holmes, who is probably better depth piece, if anything, than a starting cornerback. Giants should definitely look into the free agent market, and especially the draft, to find themselves a young stud cornerback. You got guys like Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Ringo, Banks, Porter Jr., all these guys that are young quality cornerbacks coming out of this draft that the Giants could definitely look at in terms of upgrading their cornerback position going into the 2023 NFL season. And I think it's definitely a need that this team needs to explore going into the rest of free agency and the NFL draft. They need to get more depth at the cornerback position, and I would not even be surprised if this team goes out there and tries to get themselves a certified number 2 cornerback or a future number 1 in order to have Adoree Jackson slide in as the future number 2. That's an essential one. And I would not even discount safety or running back as other options too. Right now, we know about the Giants wanting to sign Saquon Barkley to a 2nd contract. They already locked him up with the franchise tag. But it does not hurt in getting yourself another running back. I know you have Matt Breida, who you re-signed on another deal. And you have Gary Brightwell, who's right now did pretty solid in his serviceable time. But the Giants might want to get themselves a true number 2 running back for the future. And at safety, you already lost Julian Love, who departed the Giants to go sign with the Seattle Seahawks. You have Dane Belton, former 4th round rookie out of Iowa. You also have Jason Pinnock, who you signed from the New York Jets last year off their practice squad. You have Xavier McKinney, too, who is probably going to be in line to get a big extension in the future, but he's also been hurt both seasons. And Pinnock and Dane Belton are more role players right now. Neither of these guys have really stepped up in position to be starting safeties. So maybe the Giants are going to be interested in looking at those 2 positions to add some more depth in the draft and free agency as well. We'll have to wait and see. But to me, wide receiver, offensive line interior, linebacker, definitely a cornerback too, another running back, and defensive line help. Even if you sign A'Shawn Robinson, all should be interests for this Giants team. And when I talk about interior offensive line, I want a true center in the draft, and I want another guard, at least. And wide receiver, I want at least another 1 or 2 wide receivers on this roster. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you think. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Give a sub to NYG Jeffrey T85 for more news updates and shoutouts surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And let me know in the comment section what you think are the biggest needs for the New York Giants as we head into the 2nd and 3rd wave of NFL free agency and we get closer to the NFL draft that will be happening on April 27th to the 29th on this year. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take it easy and let's go New York Football Giants. As always, together blue, everyone.